Hey guys, welcome back. Today we will be going over refund policies. Now, do as you wish and however you want to handle it. I'm going to lead in with this. Get an SLA or agreement every single time, especially big companies. Okay. If you're working with a big company and you're going to have a high ticket price, get an agreement that outlines refund potential or deposits. So let's work through my list here. First off, if someone needs to cancel, don't be rude. Okay, they're going to be disappointed they need to cancel. They're going to be frustrated they have to call their vendors. It's a pain for them too. They understand you as a business are now losing business, that you are getting ready to do something, all these things. Don't make it worse on them because it's going to cause a bad day for you. Always be kind and courteous. I know it sounds like common sense, but even in these disappointing scenarios, be kind. So, number one, we have a few payment options, right? People have an option to pay in full prior to an event. So they agree to a price, they reserve, we say, yep, we're going to do it. We send them a payment link and they agree they want to pay in full. Ta-da! You now have your full amount. You don't got to worry about collecting later, nothing like that. I would recommend usually birthday parties and small events, try to collect it all up front. If you have a really big event, I'm talking like 9, 10, 15, 20,000 or more, you can split it. You collect half up front and say, you know what? You can do what we do. It's 50% of the reservation time, 50%, 48 to 72 hours before your event. They're supposed to pay before that event starts. We will not do day of prep without that final payment. Deposit in full before the event, no matter what. There are special cases where we know it can be recurring revenue, it can be a relationship, recurring events, amazing stuff where we'll say, you know what, we want you to really enjoy this event. We'll do the 50%, and then, you know what, let's settle up the 50% after the event. Let's talk the day after. We'll get it over to you the day of. Don't worry about checking your email. We can worry about it getting paid a day or two after. And there's planners that keep coming back to us because of that, because they know they don't got to stress about processing a payment the day before. With everything that they're handling and making sure vendors are set, they can say, okay, I can process a payment once I get through this. It eases their mind. It shows you care about the relationship. Structure it however you want. Again, be sure it's in an SLA so it can be crystal clear for everybody what the expectation is. Now, cases where I usually will do a full refund. Birthdays. Birthdays are intimate and special. They're families. Whether it's a first, a 50th, or 90th, anniversaries, or birthdays. These are big events. They matter to these people individually. It's not a company hosting an event trying to get more sales. A recent case is someone hired us for staffing for their son's first birthday. So big shebang. Let's celebrate our little one's first birthday. Unfortunately, their son got sick 3 days before, to the point where he's going to have to go to the doctor. It's not a little sniffle, it's we need to go. So he was very upset. The dad who reserved it was upset. He's like, I'm so sorry, I need to cancel. So I waited a minute. Like, okay. One, whatever. Show sympathy. I'm so sorry. I know this isn't what you wanted either. Hopefully your son is good. Please do let us know because we do care. I want to offer you two options. We can either do a refund in full, so you don't got to worry about it. Contact us when you're ready. Or we can hold the payment, and whenever you reschedule, we will pencil you in right away where you are marked as paid. Now, he ended up choosing to have a full refund but by showing sympathy to the situation, being empathetic, he was very grateful. He said, "Thank you so much. Again, I'm so sorry. I'll call you probably after the holidays. We're going to redo the birthday when he's feeling better after the holidays. So keep an eye out. January, February, we will be in touch." It's not a total loss. By showing empathy there, though, that's good word of mouth. You want to be the catering company where if people hire you for a personal event, they know they can count on you. Now, on to the ones where I'm going to hold something. There's usually big company events. Now, there's cases where, let's say, they're just doing wine and beer and they cancel. My vendors will take it back and refund me in full so we can net out. But if it's a big event, you still had to do the ordering and the planning and the everything. So keeping a bit of a fee isn't a bad idea. Some people put up a stink. Someone always will. If they didn't get a service, so why should they pay? At the end of the day, it's you reserved this, but we also got to work. We also started getting inventory in. We were setting up the work schedules. We were moving things around. We said no to other events that hopefully we can call and contact, but we had you reserved. Play that with what you will. But that's when we retain a percent. The bigger the event, the more of a percent I'd keep. Now, I'm not talking up to 50% of what they pay. I'm talking the margin between 2.5 to 5 to 7.5 to 10. Because you know what? Like I said, you need a factor which you can't use. Let's say it was a sandwich drop and it was a big event and I just fucking ordered 20 loaves of bread and all the meats and fixings. And so what am I going to do with this? Maybe I can sell some in our cafe, but I can't return this. Most places will not take those type of foods returned, closed or not. If you cannot return it, you need to take that off their deposit to you. And I want to run through a scenario here. Again, case by case basis. Maybe if they cancel the day before or the day of, we might keep 75% of their deposit, the 50% deposit, okay? Or we might not do a return because we might have been loading up in the van on the way and get a call when we're halfway there. There is no more returns. There's no more shuffling around. We cannot fill the event for someone else. Staff is already used. Don't cancel a giant event as it's about to start, right? If they do 48 hours, we might do 50% of the 50% deposit. And it might drop down further with 72 hours. The 72-hour margin being depending how much we can return and get back. If they paid in full, let's say 10,000, and they cancel 48 hours or less, they're like, okay, you're only getting 50% back, so they'd only get 5 max. Let's say they did 50% deposit, so they paid 5,000. Max deposit they would get is 5,000 back. Okay. Why I like to keep some anyway is because there's processing fees for us in our payment gateways. Even if it's £5, we still have a loss for having to send you your money back. It has to pull back out of our bank, send to yours. There's a fee associated with it. Let's carry on though. They deposited 5,000. Max they could get back 5,000. Let's say we spent 2.5 on consumables for this. Let's stick with me though. So therefore, the most they could then get back is 2.5. We're going to be kind and factor in that we could return 1,000 pounds worth. Okay. So therefore, their max return is 3.5. We're going to grant them the joy of knowing we're not going to profit on a return. Now, let's say there was excessive admin and planning that went into this. Let's say they needed 10 different quotes. It was 4 different hour phone calls. It was having to get our permanent staff to go, have to close our cafe, have to hire in temps. Let's say we had to reserve 2 vans because our van wasn't big enough. All these things. We work up all total costs because let's say, okay, the van rental now is in the window of no cancellation. It's like crap. We have to eat this cost. So we work up total cost. You know what it'd run us? And we'll say, okay, we got to take this off that. Let's say it works up to 1.5, and this factors all the bank transfer fees and everything. Now they're only getting $2,000 back. Again, some of them will put up a stink. Save your receipts. Don't send them your receipts, but say, okay, well, you know what? We had to hire temp staff. We had to close our cafe. We are not charging you for the loss of sale. But you know what? We did X, Y, Z. And you signed the form that said you might not get your full deposit back. That's that. Each case is different, though. Remember that. But that's all for today. Again, if you ever have any questions, drop them in the comments and our team will get to it. But again, this has just been a quick video on how to handle refunds and refund deposit or keeping deposits as fees when doing a catering event. Whether it's a type of event that gets canceled or a cancellation window. And if you take one thing away from this, it's that you need to have an SLA that's all written out for them to sign, and be sure verbally you ask them and they say they understand those terms and conditions. It saves you in the end. But that's all for today. Catch you guys in another video.